control the ring. I'm gonna be the general, and I'm gonna do what I have to do. And that's me. That's how I get down in the ring, you know. So I know that the same goes for Errol Spence. He's wanting to do certain things, and it's up to me not allowing them to happen.
Errol, is this going to be a close fight?
I don't know. When I train for a close, hard, rugged fight. So, I mean, if it is close, then, you know, it's something I'm ready for. If you know, I get him out of there early, it's something I'm ready for too. But I'm training right now for a hard fight, and I know he has crazy will. So, you know, I'm expecting a hard fight. I don't know if it's going to be a close fight or not.
And we're both training to make this an easy fight. You know what I mean?
The undercard has been announced. Let me tell you what it is real quick. Obviously, you know it's going to be Shawn Porter versus Errol Spence for the WBC and IBF 147-pound titles. You're going to have David Benavidez and Anthony Dirrell for the WBC title. Basically, you know, David Benavidez is getting another shot after he was suspended and made champion in recess by the WBC for nose clamps, cocaine. You're going to have Josesito Lopez versus John Molina Jr. Remember, John Molina was supposed to fight Sergey Limpinets on the undercard Pacquiao versus Thurman. And you have Mario Barrios versus Batyr Akhmedov. And then you're going to have Robert Guerrero on the card, and Joey Spencer on the card, headlining the PBC on FS1 broadcast. Tomorrow is the press conference open to the public at the Staples Center. It is going to be at 11 a.m. Eastern, no, 11 a.m. Pacific. We're going to be here live streaming all that. It's going to be about, what, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live with FightView360.com. And yeah, we are now, what, 5 weeks, 6 weeks away from the fight. It's going to be in the Staples Center on PBC on Fox pay-per-view. Likely $74.99. That's been the price for PBC on Fox pay-per-view so far. And right now, the biggest question is, how well is this fight going to sell? As you can see, they stacked the undercard up with some Hispanics, you know, to give it a little bit, you know, to give it a little bit more push in that market. But overall, I'm glad it's a I'm not glad it's a pay-per-view fight, but it is a pay-per-view quality fight, especially if they gave us Errol Spence versus Mikey Garcia and Pacquiao versus Broner. You know, this is going to be very competitive, and yes, Errol Spence is the favorite. Shawn Porter shouldn't be mad to know that he is an underdog. But listen, I mean, you know, he is a style that Errol Spence hasn't seen before. And as you can see, Errol Spence has been pretty heavy, from my understanding, from what we see, from what I've been seeing, the heaviest I've ever really seen him in between camps. In between fights. After all, he is a, you know, star now with the pay-per-view under his belt, even though the matching of him and Mikey Garcia is what made that pay-per-view so successful. But yet, since Errol Spence won, he gets the bragging rights of saying, hey, listen, I sold all those pay-per-views. So if you were to ask me, what do I predict for pay-per-view buys for this? I'm saying 300K. Also, that's that rumor that this fight was actually supposed to be on free. Well, they wanted this fight, or Al Heyman, rumor, wanted this fight to be on free TV, PBC on Fox, but Errol Spence pushed for it to be on pay-per-view. And I heard that Danny Garcia and Mikey Garcia was supposed to be on pay-per-view instead. Therefore, Al Heyman fighters, or his top 147-pounder guys, all getting their pay-per-view. Errol Spence, now Shawn Porter's getting his, Keith Thurman's got his, Adrian Broner's got his, Andre Berto's got his. Danny Garcia's the only one. The top 147-pound Heyman guys. So, moving on. The question is, where does the winner go, and will the winner get Pacquiao? Listen, I don't see it. I don't see Pacquiao fighting, you know, Errol Spence. I'm not saying that he would if Errol Spence was to win, but if Shawn Porter was to win, I would see Pacquiao fighting him before Errol Spence. In regards to Terrence Crawford, let's not, you know, even talk about that. That's a whole video in itself and how I feel that Al Heyman, is forcing Terrence Crawford to rethink signing with Top Rank or over there with ESPN. Now, Bob Arum has said that he's talked to Al Heyman several weeks ago after he pretty much had called Al Heyman out at the end of Crawford versus Khan, and said that pretty much, basically Heyman's tune has changed. Arum's tune has changed. And Heyman probably told him, it's going to happen next year, 2020, but he's got to clean up over on his side first. And in the meantime, Terrence Crawford has got to find opponents. It doesn't make any sense, for him and Danny Garcia not to fight. Danny Garcia and Terrence Crawford both fought on the same night. They don't have any upcoming fights, and Danny Garcia is coming off of a win. Why can't he go over to ESPN for ESPN Plus or Primetime ESPN or ESPN pay-per-view? Maybe he's being promised a pay-per-view. You think they would do Errol Spence versus Danny Garcia or Shawn Porter, Danny Garcia 2? I don't think so. Danny Garcia could also get Manny Pacquiao on pay-per-view. If Pacquiao doesn't get Mayweather, or if Pacquiao doesn't choose to fight Shawn Porter or Errol Spence. But Pacquiao's not coming back until January. He's already said that. So what does a Danny Garcia do until then? Fight the winner of a John Molina, Josesito Lopez is going to be on this card. We're going to see, though. Since the press conference is going to be in LA tomorrow, what's that? The 13th, August the 13th. Likely they're going to be doing the shoot for PBC face-to-face with Brian Campbell, before both fighters sit down, and, talk. And then I expect for the first episode of Fight Camp, which is the look into the, fighters' lives before the fight, to probably air sometime in the next, the first week, maybe second week of September. I believe face-to-face is going to be like the first week of September, maybe the last week of this month, August. We'll see, though. I'm TstreeT Controversy with FightView360.com. Please subscribe.